Good morning, everybody. I am working my way around Lake Negril right now, Negril Lagoon, which is the first of the 5 lagoons. I didn't really show you me coming in much because it's the same route that I took out on my last trek. So you can just kind of imagine that in reverse when I'm back at that same refugio that I ended at last time. So starting from there, I wanted to go a bit further last night, but hitchhiking was a lot harder than I thought. Once again, Bariloche hitchhiking is not working well. So it took me almost 3 hours to get to the start of the trailhead. And so running 3 hours behind, I did not want to risk taking on new terrain that I wasn't sure about towards a campsite that I was only hoping would be there. So I stayed at the refugio again and starting out today. So yeah, working on the 5 Lagoons trek right now. I will keep you updated along the way. Lake Negril, beautiful as always, and yeah, I'll let you know about the rest. There are some pretty icy sections in this last storm that I avoided when I got off trail last time, and so I've already had to reroute several times, which is making it take longer than I thought, which again is not ideal because I already have a big day ahead of me, but it is what it is. Hopefully it won't happen too much on this big downhill section because that part's already going to be extremely difficult, and if I have to reroute it, it's going to take a long time. So hopefully the ice ends soon. Looks like here's the next lagoon right here. This middle section with the 3 lagoons in between the 2 refugios doesn't really have much of a trail. It's just following the stone piles or the cairns and occasionally a red dot on the rocks. So you have to be a little bit more vigilant with watching out for them. Just these kind of things, so keep an eye out. Again, just like with the last trek, you really want to make sure you have good weather for these because trying to find them with snow and ice is risky and difficult. So yeah, but so far it's beautiful. This downhill section was way easier than the last trek, so I'm making better time now, which is good because I was worried that was going to take a long time. I still have a bit more downhill still, but at least that first half, all of those rocks up there held pretty well. If I had continued on, right at the very base of the river before you start heading uphill are all these flat little areas that have already been cleared for camping. So if you do decide to continue on, this is a perfect camp spot. It's right by the water. It seems dry on the ground. Like I said, very flat and clear. So it's definitely an option. Came from up there. I'm finally above the tree line again, or just about. Going over all those fallen trees was really slow and difficult in parts. But definitely doable. It just took longer than I wanted. But now that I'm pretty much above the tree line, it should be a lot easier. Just straight uphill for a little while, and then I'll be to the second lake. Headed around and then up. All right, the trail, it's like around the lake. It's very difficult to figure out, and the trees are very overgrown, so I've come to the side of the lake to follow along for a while, and of course the trees overgrow on it. So I'm just gonna take my shoes off and walk along a little bit until I reach the trail that I see connects to the lake again. Alright, so I just walked barefoot all the way around the lake. Just the trail just kept not being there. So if you're able to find it, good job. Otherwise, it's really not too bad just walking barefoot. It's cold at first and then it starts to feel really good. So now I'm gonna search for the trail to start heading up there. I'm really starting to question this trail. Like, it doesn't really seem to exist within these trees all the way around the lake. If it does, it's just not lining up with all trails at all. So I'm so far off that I can't even see where it is. And these trees are impossible to work my way through, and it's just frustrating because it's adding way more time than I ever expected for this section. So I'll let you know what I end up doing. Alright, I worked my way out of these trees, but there's still more up ahead. This trail is non-existent, so I'm basically looking up higher of where I need to go, and I'm just gonna shoot for that direction until I'm past the trees, and then search and see if maybe there is a trail within the rocks. I'm gonna try to avoid this and work my way through spots where I see some rocky openings, so that maybe this thick part is the only hard part, and then I should be going up over here, but I'm gonna go up over here and cut across. I've spent over an hour, almost an hour and a half in those trees just now because they are so thick and overgrown. My bag would catch and I would get stuck, and it was a mess. I was right on the line of where like the trail should be, and it's nowhere around there. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna start working my way up because I'm way behind on time now after that. And I have no idea what to expect in the trees coming up, so that's the situation. Finally found something with a little bit of a trail. Oh. Almost there. Finally made it to the top here. The view around this backside is absolutely incredible. I'm a little bit anxious because there's a bunch of snow on the side of the mountain that I'm about to start heading down. So once again, I think it might take longer than I'm expecting, and I just ran out of water, so I'm excited to get down to the next river. I was up there. Almost down. I'm sitting at the river drinking some water because I was out and I'm very thirsty. It is 10 after 5, so I have a solid 2, maybe 2.5 hours of daylight left, and I'm 2 miles from where I wanted to set up camp tonight. If I run into issues like the trees again, or losing the trail, or having the ice, I'm worried about running out of daylight. But if I don't, then I think I can push and make it. The terrain is rough, so I've been moving about 1 mile an hour. But 10 after 5 is also a perfectly respectful time to set up camp so that I can make dinner and watch the sunset, everything else that goes along with that. I've, been hiking since 9, so I'm gonna sit for maybe 2 more minutes, drink some water and decide, and I'll let you know what I come up with. All right, I'm just gonna go for it. Before I lose any daylight, I don't want to spend too long thinking about it. I'm just gonna start, and if I run into the tree issue early on, maybe I'll turn back and sit up here, but I'm just gonna push hard for the last 2 hours, and then I will enjoy a nice warm, well-deserved dinner and rest into the evening. So I really wanted to see that campsite. It's supposed to be next to a waterfall, and I just thought that'd be beautiful, and in the morning be able to capture the sunrise and everything. So I'm just gonna push, and I don't know if I'll take too many videos on my way so that I can save time, but I'll show you what I can. If I had enough water to drink and cook dinner, I would definitely be tempted to stay there. But there's no water source, so I just need to keep going. I'm making progress. Alright, I'm getting close. Just over here and then down, and the sun is there, which I've been getting a little bit chilly on the side in shorts, but I know once I get on the sun side I'm gonna like it, so almost there. Gotta keep going, I'm gonna lose the sun. Okay, that uphill part took about 20 minutes longer than I wanted it to, so it's not as bad as it could have been. But I do still need to be quick heading down, because once I get down, even just a little bit, the sun will be behind the mountain for me, so I gotta get moving. I'm probably just gonna show you when I get camp set up. I'm not gonna take any videos on the way down just because I know it's gonna be steep and I need to be quick, so yeah. Okay, I think I'm down the rocky part. That was crazy and risky and rough, so give yourself more time than I gave myself coming down that section right there, because it's loose and slick, and actually this is muddy too, so I'm gonna focus. All right, I'm almost there. Oh my god, I can't wait to get there. This has been a really long day. All right, I've made it. Here's my view. Right there will be my campsite. And here's that waterfall. Oh, it was killer, but I'm really glad that I continued on here today. I wish I'd made it for the sunset, but it's okay. morning. Got this wonderful waterfall behind me that was really pleasant to listen to throughout the night. It was very soothing. And now I'm just heating some water for my hotties in my sleeping bag while I watch the sunrise, and then I'm also gonna make some coffee. And because I pushed so hard last night for several extra hours, I get to take today very easy, which I am thrilled for because my body is feeling it. After 3 months of being down here in Argentina, doing harder treks like this, my knees, my back are just done. So I'm taking an easy morning, few hours even, and then as long as I'm out of here by around 11, I'll have plenty of time because I only have 4.5 miles to go today, and a solid 1.5 of those are just pretty flat. So I'm just going to enjoy the morning and be on my way when I'm ready. Alright, and I am off for the morning. Oh, there's nothing like a steep incline to start it out. There was no warm up to this, it was just straight up. Whew. The lake where I was camped. This is a packs off, sit and enjoy the beautiful color of this lake kind of lake. I cannot believe how amazing this is. I cannot believe how blue and vibrant this lake is, especially with the reds and oranges of the leaves all around. Looks like I'm headed over this and then over top. I love reaching points on a trail like this, where in every direction you can just see out and only see mountains. And it feels not only wildly remote, but it feels like you've conquered something great. I don't know, like you're part of it. You've managed to somehow escape from the rest of everything and make it to here and just be.
Is there bacha, I don't know, drink water, not from the lagoon.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not drinking water.
Okay, good to know. Thank you. All right, I've just arrived at the lake and plenty of spots to set up, so I found a little spot on the beach, which I'm really excited for. It's only 3 o'clock, so I'm gonna have a late lunch and play in the sand and maybe even swim. I don't know, it's really cold, but yeah, it's a beautiful lake. I'm excited that I made it here so early. Today was wildly easy. If you plan on having this be a day, it's perfect. My biggest suggestion so far for this trail is yesterday, the day that I had really long. If you just split that into 2 days or maybe even 3, if you just want to take it easy, you will be golden. It's not that hard if you're breaking it up, especially giving yourself just this amount of time for the day. That way you can enjoy some time at this lake. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna set up everything. I just threw my stuff in the tent. I'm gonna blow up my air mat, get my bed all ready just so it's done. I love setting up camp first so I can just relax for the rest of the day. So, I did not expect there to be so many children, screaming children at that. But I'm realizing it is Easter weekend, and that's why it's completely packed up here. It turns out all of the domes and like refugio part is fully booked out. So it's not quite as peaceful of a campsite compared to the other ones that I've been at, but it's okay. This has been lovely, and I had some time in the sun to sort of journal and stretch and play in the sand and just enjoy being in the sun and relaxing a bit after some very strenuous hikes these last 2 weeks. The sun has set, and I'll be hiking down tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. I got to see a really cool bird for a while, and the sunrise has been beautiful. So I think I'm going to sit here for a little while until the sun actually hits the beach, and then pack up to head down. I'm off. This last little bit from Laguna Ilón to Pampa Linda should not be too bad at all. I think it's only about 4.5 miles. Pretty even elevation for the first. A little bit of steep elevation down, which is the only part I'm curious about because I don't know what the terrain will be like. But I've given myself plenty of time. I'm embarrassed that someone saw me struggling through that. Oh, it's so beautiful. Hi. I've made some new friends just alongside the trail here. Alright, I've made it back to the little town, Pampa Linda. There's like one restaurant and one hostel, I think. It's not a very big area. And somewhere in here will be Liz with the big red van. I knew that Chase was going to be ending a trail in the same area today. I did not expect him to be at the same campsite as me last night. Their plan was to be somewhere else, but they had to kind of pull an audible, and so they reversed their route, and we ended at the same campsite yesterday, so that was a surprise seeing him there. And I think they'll be down in a little while. I left earlier than they did today. So I'm gonna go find Liz and spend some time with her. Hi.
You made it.
I did make it. How are you? Four o'clock on the dot.